So I'm recording this much later than usual, and I will start editing these soon and stop being lazy. But so this is the puppet map. I'm going to change inevitably after this, but oh well, it was fun while it lasted. Um, you got a faction map. Ooh. And then you got spoilers. Not spoilers. I'll come to the start here. I only got the main one. But hey, so we're starting with factions, right? You may see West Africa and NATO, as well as they're already in there. But we have NATO rebranding to the ITO, or the International Trade Organization, because it was the North Atlantic Trade Organization at that point. And joining it are the reason they do it is because to increase tensions with the Fourth International in Korea, they don't want to lose their influence in Asia or the East China Sea. So what they do, they invite Korea, they join, as well as Japan, and they join Taiwan. They don't want to ruin their relations with China, which are actually pretty non-existent. So maybe Taiwan do join. I don't know. I'll consider it. Taiwan join, because that's going to need to provoke something up here. Now I want to do. Anyways, Taiwan joins. However many people recognise them doesn't really matter because they're in. And the Chilean Argentinian Republic joins. And West Africa also joined by coloured them in by accident. Yes, so I forgot about it. It's the first time we're in Europe, the whole thing, I'm pretty sure. Libya is still, yeah. Anyways, we're going to go over to East Prussia. And we see, for the first time, something happening in Europe, excluding these, with a revolt called the Königsberg Revolt, which happened because basically, there's a Russian in charge of the DDR being Konev, who was in charge of occupied Austria, but Piek got shot or something, I don't really know, he died early. And the Russians needed a strong someone in charge, so they put Konev in because he did a good job in Austria, and he's also a war hero, so the Russians would appreciate him being in charge, I guess. Let's do this. But some people, obviously the German people aren't happy about this, only like the people in charge are good at the regime, maybe a few loyalists. But basically, again, sick of it. And then one day, a member of a terrorist organization called, I can't remember, but I did write it down, shot at some Russian forces in Königsberg, and then that was that. And then a rebellion that kicked off down here. And let's be honest, there's a few citizen militias, but Russia's kind of occupied in the Caucasus right now, and they tell just other people, like tell Poland to help them out. Yeah, they get Poland and then tell them to fix themselves. That's not their problem. Well, it is their problem, but it's not too big of a problem. Anyway, so basically there are other little puppet governments over here start helping out. But it does start getting some credibility, but that's about the end of it. But because of this, the national sentiment of like Prussian unity and getting out of communists is spreading, not just to the other bit of the DDR, but also to West Germany, who is not in the ITO. So some fighting might happen there. Who knows? Okay, cool. Anyways, so move on to India over here. I'm just going to remove the red from Russia so I actually use it in other countries, but I'm just going to keep the revolts going there so you can clearly see. Okay, cool. The revolt's still going. There's a red here. Yeah, it's miles away. That's more annoying. It's on like the whole map. Anyway, so we have Russia, India declaring war on Bangladesh with the help of China, because let's be honest, who's stopping them? Because the West have no real influence here, so they can't step in. So there's a British fault, we think, about for pulling out, but they couldn't really afford it. Anyways, they've got their independence. That's under a communist regime, so they're probably starving more, sadly for them, the Indian people. Anyways, they make quick work of them. They've only recently gained independence, so they're in much of an army. Not too much quick work, but let's just say a big monsoon swept through a month or so before, and they kind of ruined them. And then that's the end of Bangladesh. However poorly garrisoned it will be, they do directly annex it. That's the wrong thing, obviously. For the reason being that China doesn't like to manage too many, or do not have a faction with too many different tiny little satellites in it. And also, if they do get rebellious, it'll be quicker just for India to put it down, rather than being an already established government that could just switch up on them. So military occupation will be quicker until the people of Bangladesh become more accustomed to it. So yeah, India growing back, looking like a British Raj almost again. And then we go over to Pakistan, who has the Republic, the Islamic Republic in place, with this bit in northern Kashmir. But there's some shenanigans in the Fourth International, obviously, this is bound to happen. Communists rise up in Lahore, and then India gets directly involved on the promise that they receive northern Kashmir at the end. And it's very unfortunate for Pakistan, who do manage to hold for a while, to their credit. To their credit, what was I going to say? That was a word. I'm not even rushing this. How many so on? So, what do you want me to do it? Oh, it's always taking to lose. Yeah, I've got more stuff to get onto, so I'm going to be a bit fast because I don't want to get this up for the end of the night. Because my OCD makes me want it all on the same day or one day each. And I got to do a thumbnail because I'm going to start doing thumbnails again. Anyways, number 3, and then I'll comment what the border was, so don't come after me. Let's say more Islamic peoples across the border since it was last drawn up, so that's my excuse of it not being the same. Let's be real, man, it's not a big of a deal. Just use your imagination. So now Pakistan are communist and they joined the Fourth International. I'm not going to colour in, so no point, so I'll just change in 10 minutes anyways. But yes, I'll show what colour in. I'm feeling kind. Why they all ticked? Anyways, yes, they do join the Fourth International. Very cool. And I need to update it. Oh well, it's fine. Not too long. Doesn't take too long. Anyways, and then we go over to Brazil. Told you I had lots of plans. And Suriname, which has been recently pulled out of by the Dutch. They were pretty much just waiting either for America or Brazil to do this. Let's be honest. They had a good run. They lasted 1963, and that was the end of them. Very slow progress though, because they are in fact fighting in South America. But then, you know, I said about the Americans 10 seconds ago, and they can't wait. If they smell land, they're taking it. Let's be honest, they're America, and they kind of funny and at the border and just sweep and take the coastline off it. So now all the Brazilian troops down here are starving, and then they issue a diplomatic protest. But you're messing with like the most powerful country in history at this point, and then they have no active support from the Russians, because the Russians only get involved in American conflict while they're kind of in shambles here and here. And then China don't want to support Brazil. I know about messing with America. But America needs China and China needs America for economy right now, so I'm sure I'll be peaceful for a while. But yep, and then the peace conference. America do make some concessions, else a war with Brazil wouldn't be like a loss, but it'll be a pain. Oh, it's like Poland. So they do make some concessions. Being this, they give them a small little route to the Atlantic, not too big of one. And then Brazil challenges the rest. Ignore that. Gotta hurry up So I'll make the thumbnail. I want it up by the end of the day. Got 13. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not editing this one's good. Thank goodness it's still recording. Okay, I'm gonna skip to the end of the list and then go to the other things. The other thing will take longer. I don't want to rush it. So the CCR here, which you're pretty familiar with at this point, and you got Ethiopia, which you might be familiar with at this point, and then they see Kenya here. He gained independence from the British at the same time as Sudan, and somehow, don't ask me how, I forgot about them, they have not become communist yet. And then a funny little thing happens where two communist nations see this and kind of do some funny business, and they start asking the British for help. But A, the British are broke right now, and B, it's kind of like, why'd you ask for independence if you're in the middle of communist Africa? And we gave it to you, so be smart next time. So that's the sad end for Kenya. And I don't know why this keeps happening. Like stupid little things like that. Anyways, it's they both have claimed to parts of Kenya. Well, I mean, CCR did not claim it. Ethiopia is some claim through Somalia, which they annexed. So they say they have claim to it. Or if they call themselves the Horn of Africa, they claim to it, which is just this bit in the Jubaland. I have no idea what it's called. Unfortunately, I need to get my knowledge back up. Let's say their claim is like this. Very colonial looking border. And Ethiopia has grown more. And then the CCR annexes the rest. Now they got an Indian Ocean border. That's pretty cool for them. And not really the CCR anymore, because the CCR is like this much their name. I don't know why I drew it like that. The CCR is like this much of their name. And they got more stuff here. So they rebrands to the CACR, the Central African Communist Republics. Unless they don't want to appeal more to Russia so they can get some guns and stuff. So they call themselves the Central African United Soviet Socialist Republics, CALSA. And I'm never going to say that again, but that's their name. Nah, that's a mouthful. I'm going to CCR. It's still CCR. Which stood for Congo Communist Republics. Anyways, now moving on to the last. Well, actually, looks like a pretty good border in fairness until you zoom in. Oh, that's alright when you zoom in. I'm pretty proud of that one. Anyways, back, or finally, Franco has lasted this long. My grandfather actually met him, which is pretty cool. Anyways, he somehow lasted this long. That was very yellow on my lighting. He's lasted this long, anyways. And then the ITO sees he's kind of like a blob in the middle of the ITO. Russia hates him because he's fascist. Everyone else hates him because he's fascist. So the West do a denazification in air quotes. They really just a land grab. But they use the excuse of it being a denazification. America's involved, Commonwealth Cullinan. Italy sends some support, they're not directly involved. It's just these guys, because Gibraltar, direct border, and America. Yep. They hold the... which one's these? Pyrenees? Am I being an idiot? I'm not putting P into my search bar, mate. I know what I said, that's not true. That's gonna be so heinous, isn't it? It's the Pyrenees, isn't it? It has to be. Was that the... anyways, they didn't really expect Portugal to do something like this. Only in the south did they really have anything prepared, and it was only not too much. Then the Americans started coming in. They approached a band of Balearic, and they fell to British forces from Malta, coming at and Gibraltar, I suppose. But in the end, a naval invasion, massive naval invasion over here, encircled Barcelona that fell, and these guys started becoming attrition because of that, and then a breakthrough here, captured 30,000 or so, and then started moving down the coast. Gibraltar held, not, and then let's just say something horribly went wrong, and then they kind of did that. The Spanish started rushing down Portugal to try, do something. They got in a circle in here, they couldn't finish. It's all American tanks, to say, and they push up to about here, and Portuguese fall back to obviously defend their homeland. America did own America down here, and that's now American. So that was their last colony. But now support's flooding in from everyone. Italy sent volunteers, the Dutch, Belgians send volunteers, Norwegian volunteers, Danish volunteers, you get the idea, Canadian volunteers, and then that's pretty much outmatched the Spanish in the north, and then force abandon the mountain line because it's becoming too costly to hold it because lack of supply. But this is pretty much all mountains anyways, so let's be honest, so it's a very slow advance. This is reconnected, and they push back to about here. One final naval landing in Sevilla area, bridge the gaps between his two lines, and a spearhead upwards to Madrid. Franco fled up to Burgos, but that's the main supply lines down. They captured a load here, and then did several more spearheads connecting the Mediterranean, and then one big final push up. Burgos, this had happened over a few weeks, obviously it's horrible to walk through. Burgos captured, and then the rest fell, and Franco shot himself presumably. No one knows where he went. Maybe he took a trip to Argentina, like the other funny man. Actually, that would make sense. Paraguay. Anyways, yeah. Canary Islands is still in their control. Just that's got to lock in. But yeah. And in true Western fashion, several occupation zones are set up to help denazify it. In air quotes again. I mean, well, the air quotes are mainly on the help and occupation zones. Anyways, France gets theirs in, is it Catalonia? I can't remember. My map knowledge is a bit off right now. Portugal get theirs in Galicia, but they have enough claim to this to the point where it's not an occupation zone, they just outright annex it. So base Portugal moment there. America get theirs in the Canary Islands and Western Sahara. They just steal that, and then the actual occupation zone is in the Sevilla. Britain still holds Gibraltar, so both mouths of the Mediterranean are still British after this many years, so that's pretty cool for them. And they take the Balearic Islands, as well as this one city here, which I forget what it's called, following the Aragonese coast, the French one. And then Spain's put in the loyalist government to the ITO, and I shall do those in a minute. I'll go get it uploaded. Goodbye.